Welcome. I'm Frontera, and welcome to Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, and also welcome to you that are watching from the comfort of your home. I, as you probably know, am grounded in nursing. That has been my background. So I'm a registered nurse, but I'm also a non-denominational minister. And what we do in my services is a movement and meditation service. And I also speak on the topic of the month. And I do this so that the message that we're talking about resonates and sticks. Because if you just sometimes listen to somebody stand up here and speak, it doesn't always stick. So you're going to notice that we're going to have about 8 minutes of my talking on the topic, and then movement, more talking, then more movement, more talking, meditation, and then we end with a video with the message. So that will be our hour. The topic of the month is joyful giving. When we think of the word joyful, we think of light, we think of abundance, we think of freedom, and when it's full of joy, it's full, right? There's no room, there's no space when something is joyful. And the word giving, usually we think of sort of as gifting or an exchange of things, okay? But it can be more than that. It's more than just an exchange of things. Physiologically, when we feel joy, we feel these neurotransmitters, okay? And there's neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, and they help our immune system. So joy helps our immunity. Giving, we feel oxytocin. Okay, oxytocin is another neurotransmitter. That's what we feel when there's breastfeeding, during sex. It's that giving and exchanging of energy that produces oxytocin. Okay. So spiritually, though, when we think of joyful giving spiritually, that's a whole other thing too. And what happens there is our hearts are opened, we feel light, we feel love, we feel the circle of abundance, and there's this trickle effect, right? And it spreads, and it grows. So there's the story of a 12-year-old boy. And he moved schools, and he had friends in his old school. But in his new school, he was having a real social problem in terms of he wasn't connecting with kids, and actually he was bullied. So when it came to sign his yearbook, he only had 2 people that signed his yearbook, and he really felt badly. And somehow the word got out, and it spread to some of the older kids in the school. And some of those older kids could relate. Yeah, I remember when I was a new kid in school and the pressure that I felt to fit in. Yeah, I remembered being bullied. And so then those older kids started talking to each other. And the next day that they had for signing of the yearbooks, a swarm of older kids came up to this boy to sign his yearbook. And all of the other kids, thought, wow, this is really cool, to have the older kids pay attention to you, that's great. But they didn't just sign his yearbook, they asked him about his likes, what he'd like to do, what was fun for him, what brought him joy. They spent time with him, not only just helped his ego, but they actually gave the gift of themselves to him. So, there's a Buddhist practice where you imagine giving joy and all sources of your joy in order to help others out of their pain. So that's really, in some ways, without thinking about a Buddhist practice, what those kids were actually doing. So it wasn't a physical gift that they were giving, signing the yearbook, but it was really a gift that came deep from within that they could really relate to. And so if we give joy, that's our reward. That in itself is our reward. So there's a story of another kid, young kid, a little older than kindergarten. begged and begged and begged her father to take her to the store on Christmas Eve because she had nothing to give her mother except this thing that she made earlier in school. And I think we probably all did these when we were kids. Do you remember those pictures where sometimes you'd like paste things on it, And, she was now months later, much older, and thought, who would want this? Who would want this? So she emptied her piggy bank, and her dad took her to the store, and she bought her mom plastic coasters. Okay. So she gave the mom the plastic coasters. A week later, mom was cleaning under the bed, and she finds this piece of artwork. And she looks at the kid, and she felt probably what that kid felt. At an early age, sometimes we feel embarrassment, we feel self-criticism, sometimes we feel shame. It's something that we start learning at a very, very young age. And she looked at her child and said, I love this. And of course, if you're a mother or a father, yes, you love that more than those plastic coasters. So we've got baggage around gifts. And so during this time of year, gift giving sometimes creates a whole lot of anxiety. And so giving from the bottom of our hearts rather than the top of our purse is really something to strive for. And so sometimes the most profound gifts that we can give are those gifts of vulnerability. And those are the hardest gifts to give, right? Because when we give of ourselves and we give of our vulnerability, then we sometimes think we open ourselves to criticism, rejection, whatever. But usually, when you think of it, aren't those the gifts when you receive them have been the best gifts that you've ever received? So it's something to think about. In the long run, sometimes we don't get any more than what we are willing to risk giving. So risking giving of ourselves, and it's easy to hold back. So if we strip ourselves of our attachments, we find freedom. Stripping ourselves of our attachments that no longer serve us, we find freedom. So our first exercise, as you know, I always start out with, let's get rid of what no longer serves us. So I encourage you to stand up and spread out. And I like to stand with the feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent. Just take in some deep breaths. Breathing in love and breathe out joy. Breathing in love and breathe out joy. And do the opposite. Bring in joy and breathe out love. And let's just tap this thymus, where we often feel the anxiety. And you can do this just before a meeting, just before anything that sometimes causes you some anxiety. And just breathing in and out, getting rid of any anxiety, fear, junk. Any junk that's bothering you. Physically, if you've got a cold, if you've got chest congestion, whatever may be going around this time of year, fear, as you're breathing in and out, just think of getting rid of it. Because what you're doing in Qigong is you're making room and you're allowing space for more to enter your heart, for more to enter that chest cavity, to allow your heart to expand even more. And you're going to take then those hands and flick from your fingers. Imagine flicking off more junk. More junk going down your arms. Any negative energy, any stress that you feel going from your shoulders and getting rid of them down, out through your fingertips. And shake those hands, creating some heat, creating some good vibrational energy. Creating heat and shaking off more that what does not serve you. And we're going to take those arms and just go from side to side, clearing the energy around you, clearing more any negativity, any emotional baggage that you have, and remembering to breathe. Clearing from your body, from one side to another, allowing room for male and female energy, yin and yang energy, allowing yourself to become in full balance. Now take your hands and just rub on those kidneys, clearing those kidneys, because remember, those kidneys clear a lot of toxins from your body. Okay, a lot of toxins. And having good kidney clearance is important. So just wish positive kidney clearance. Could you tell I used to be a kidney nurse? Creatinine clearance. Also on top of those kidneys are the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands sometimes can contribute to hypertension. So let's just give those adrenal glands a little love and think of that blood pressure just lowering just a little bit. And take those hands, put them on your belly, calming the fire in the belly. And the belly, sometimes where we store anger, calm that fire. Keep one hand on the belly, the other on the heart, connecting the belly and the heart. To your heart of love. Connecting action of the belly with emotion and love of the heart. Take the hand off the belly. Giving extra love to that heart and to yourself. Take one hand from the heart onto your head. Clearing your head, connecting your heart with your mind. Allowing you to think clearly, love fully. Hand back to the heart. Breathe in and out again. In love and out joy. And I encourage you to have a seat. The great thing about joy is that we create it. It's one of those things that we actually can create ourselves. And joy is really an accumulation of things. Okay, it's not just a particular moment. It's an acceleration of moments. Okay? So you have one happiness and one thing and one energy, and it accelerates and it accumulates. So the more that we can infuse into life and in our interactions with others, the more it spreads. So in Buddhism, there's a concept called dana. So being delighted before, during and after giving. Okay? And not thinking of it as an exchange, but just not getting anything in return, just for the joy of giving itself. So I gave 2 examples of children, but now here we are adults, right? And as adults, we've got all of these relationships that we have to juggle, right? Our work, past lives, current lives, people who have hurt us, whatever. And so life becomes more complex. So there's a story of a husband who travels, and as he's going out the door, he yells to his wife, "Oh, honey, I forgot. It's my ex-wife's birthday. Could you help my children buy a present for her?" And she goes, Huh? You want me to buy a present for your ex-wife? What are you talking about here? So she takes a deep breath, and she says, well, okay, I'm not going to buy the present for these, for this wife. I don't even really know this ex-wife. So I'm going to talk to the children. And so she asked the kids, what does your mom like? And the kids really lit up. They really enjoyed talking about their mom. They kind of thought talking about mom with the new wife was kind of taboo. So they talked about her likes and her dislikes and her hobbies and her favorite colors. And they said, boy, this is really fun. So they were experiencing joy out of talking about their mom. And it was fun thinking about giving her a gift. And they started this tradition then of this bonus mom giving, helping the kids figure out what to give their mom. And it became a tradition and a custom with the bonus mom to do this. And it just so happened that the mother knew that it wasn't her ex-husband that was helping these kids with these presents. She knew that it was the bonus mom. It created a bond between the new wife and the old wife. So again, joyfully giving expanded again. And gradually, then this bonus mom started working with the kids so that they gave more and more of what the original mom wanted. And what does a mother or father, any parent, want with their kids? Time. Time, right? And that is so important, and especially when they're adults. When they're adults and they grow up and they go away, what do you want most is their time, the giving of themselves. So that bonus mom really taught that children lots of things. How to think of others, the gift of giving of what is really important, and the other thing that she taught them that they probably won't appreciate until they get older is grace. They will probably look back and say, my stepmother helped us buy presents for our mother, and realize and recognize that grace. So there are lessons that sometimes we don't realize that we can give people, and gifts that we can give people that they can carry throughout their whole life and pass on to others. There's a Zen teaching regarding generosity that says there's nothing that defines the substance of a gift. We come to see that everything is already a gift. And what is that gift? Right here. That's really the gift. So we live in a world, though, that's beyond just our family and our friends. It's a global world now, right? And generosity is a virtue that produces peace. When we're generous globally and around the world, it helps create that higher awareness of yourself and others and society. And it gives us a path so people's basic needs can be met. It includes concepts such as justice, saving the earth, fairness, So generosity globally produces a lot. So we've been hearing a lot on media about disasters of the world, wars, et cetera, and lately some folks have been particularly touched by what's been happening in the Ukraine. So in spring of 2022, you may have read about it in the newspapers, North Americans started booking vacations in the Ukraine on Airbnb, okay? And with the intent of not going, because there is a war going on over there. But they booked these vacations. And these homeowners in the Ukraine are going, huh? They want to come here? And eventually, the communication got out, no, this is how we can give you money overseas. And so folks in North America, United States and Canada, gave money, booked a week in the Ukraine in somebody's home. That homeowner could use that money for several reasons: to feed themselves, to feed their community, whatever it is. Also, for those folks that were displaced, it helped provide housing for people that were displaced. So in a matter of 1 month, there were 61,000 rentals that were rented, raising over $1.9 million just in a month. And that has been going on and on. And it wasn't then just the people here in North America. We had Airbnb that said, okay, we're going to waive fees. We're going to just check the site, make sure that there's no spam on there. And Airbnb now has an Airbnb Charities. And they're starting to do this or facilitate this kind of activity all around the world and helping with world disasters. So just from a few people's ideas, you could see how that just multiplied and created more and more ingenuity on many, 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 many levels. So there's really nothing that divides us if we don't let it. And separation can really be transcended if we allow it, and if we allow ourselves to just break free of things and connect. So now our next exercise is going to be in connecting. So I encourage you to stand up. And same stance, slightly apart, knees bent. And we're going to just stand like a firm tree in the stream. Strong, steady, full of joy, full of light. Grounded in Mother Earth. With the fruits of water flowing through our toes and our roots. We're slowly raising our arms and connecting with the sun, or that beautiful dome up above, that circle perfectly painted in the center. And we're going to turn slightly and look to one side and bring in light from all angles. And turn to the other side. Qigong's all about balance too. So we do things connecting both sides. East and west, north and south, yin and yang. back to the center. And slowly bring those arms to chest level and spread those arms out as far as you can, pushing your chest out, pushing your heart out, your vulnerable heart. Connect it. Connect it to everything that is joyful. And maybe just put a little smile on your face when you're breathing in and out. Now, those arms behind you, palms up, behind you, and raised up as far as you can raise them behind you. And tilt the head up. Connecting with the sun again. Tilt your head down. Connecting with your chest. And hold your head to one side. Stretching gently and easily. Feeling any stress go from your shoulders. Allowing yourself to connect. And turn slowly to the other side. Now slowly bend down, bringing those arms behind you and putting the back flat like a table. Remember to keep those knees bent. Feel the stretch in your legs. And hold that balance. And look at Mother Earth and recognize Mother Earth. And thank Mother Earth for all she does. She feeds us globally. She nurtures us all. And if you can, touch the ground. If you can't touch the ground, as close as you can get, you can bend your knees a little more if you need to. And connect literally. Giving thanks. And love. Slowly bring your hands up the backs of your legs, imagining bringing the love of Mother Earth throughout your whole body. Stopping at those kidneys. Back to the belly. And back to the heart. And remember how powerful and beautiful you are. Give love to yourself. And one last breath. And I encourage you to have a seat. So the Dalai Lama reminds us that we're just visitors on this earth. And at the most, 90, 100 years. And so he says, if we contribute to others' happiness, that's really the true goal of being here on this life. And that gives us meaning in this life, right? When we think of anything else, that's really what gives us meaning. And Stephen King doesn't quite say it as eloquently, but he's a little more jarring. And Stephen King describes when he got into a motorcycle accident. He says, there I was, lying in a ditch, and I was covered with mud and blood, and this thing in my leg, my bone was sticking out of my jeans, and I had a MasterCard in my wallet, but when you're lying on the side of the road, nobody takes MasterCard. And so we come and we go out naked and broke. All we have is on loan. I guess it's true. And so nothing lasts. So we may as well give what we have, pass it on. Make life one long gift to others. Okay. So when I think of these themes every month, I always like to look at it from the other side. The other side is if I was no longer here on this earth. And what is it that I have done that's contributed to other people's lives? Hopefully it includes, little acts of kindness every day. And have I done some other things that contributed more in a bigger way that had a trickle-down effect? And what could those be when I think about at least this particular theme? And it's, I think, an important way to think about living your life, because that 90 to 100 years goes really, 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 really fast. And Billy Crystal, I don't know if you know him, he's a comedian. And he did this monologue called 700 Sundays. And 700 Sundays are the number of Sundays that his father lived. His father died when he was 15 years old. And his father every Sunday made sure he had quality time with his son. And they would go to ball games together, do other kinds of things together, projects together. And he remembers those Sundays because he and his father experienced joy, and his father gleefully gave to him. And his father was a jazz impresario. He owned a record shop. And he was a well-loved guy in the community. He was known as a humanitarian, and he surrounded himself multiculturally and multiracially with a lot of folks. And he exposed his son to this lifestyle. So not only ball games, but jazz, many cultures, etc. So Louis Armstrong attended his Passover service. Billie Holiday took him to his very first movie. So can you imagine as a little kid sitting on Billie Holiday's lap going to your very first movie? So he has all of these great memories. And when he was 15 years old, then Billy Crystal had a fight with his father. And you know how sometimes 15-year-olds are. You don't know nothing, right? That night, his father went to a bowling alley and died. And he just felt awful because his last words to his father was, "You don't know nothing." And his father gave to him joyfully and taught him so much in life. And at the funeral, he just felt like crap. And there was this speaker that told a joke. And everybody laughed, and Billy was really taken aback by it. And later in life, he realized, even at his funeral, my dad gave me a gift. He taught me that even in the darkest times, it's okay to laugh. And that trickle effect, here you have now a little boy that had this amazing life, who now, as a grown-up, has really helped millions of people around the world laugh. So this is an example of how it can really, really spread. So conscious living, we call ourselves here a Center for Conscious Living. And so while on this earth, conscious living reminds us to be present, right? To be present of this moment. And be conscious, if we're talking about this topic, of giving and receiving. So giving what we can and take what's given. Give without remembering and receive without forgetting. Give without remembering and receive without forgetting. Okay, so with that, we're going to do a little more movement, and this time we're moving. So I encourage you to stand up. That firm tree standing in the stream, hands down, remembering to breathe. Breathing in love, breathing out joy. Breathing in love, breathing out joy. And putting one foot slightly to the side so you have a nice wide stance. You're going to take those arms and move them slowly around you. Not only are you clearing the air around you, but now you're spreading your beautiful light to those in the room, and imagine to those elsewhere. I'm going to do this a couple more times. And we're going to take those hands then and put both hands up and bring the energy now back to you and swirl it around the other way. Back to you and around. Receiving. And we're doing this physically because I've been talking about giving and receiving. But just allow yourself to feel what it's like to receive energetically. And take that other foot, put that in front, one back. Same motion. We're going to go out first, like a swimming motion, like a breaststroke, as though you're in the water, clearing the water. Swimming with the dolphins. Think of whatever might give you joy with this motion. And with those arms stretched out, bring that back to you. Bringing the love of all of the elements to you. Health, aligning all of those positive, negative ions. And back to center. Arms up. And let's do some opening and closing, allowing all that energy to flow in and out. Infusing life and air outward. Kind of like those old-fashioned billows that you used to use to help a fire in a fireplace go. Fusing air, energy, and helping it spread. Going to put our hands into a prayer position in front of us. And we're going to start out with a very tiny circle. And slowly make that circle larger and larger. And at the top of the circle, just pause real briefly to center before you go back down. Spiraling outwardly, love and joy from yourself. Energetically, imagining that. In addition to that, physically, healing those joints, your shoulders, in the movement. Once your circle has gotten as big as it can get with the hands in the prayer position, stop at the top. And slowly you're going to make that circle into a smaller spiral. Imagining now you're taking all of that joy and energy, and that spiral is flowing love and joy to you in a more and more concentrated way. And see if you can feel that. Little circle. And once your circle is almost nothing, stop in the center. And we're going to slightly separate our hands in front of our belly. Hands not touching either your belly or each other. And we're going to move one hand up and the other hand down. And back. You're going to form a circle. Front to back, circle. Flowing through you, kind of aligning everything. Think of alignment of your spine, the energies, just allow yourself to feel in perfect alignment. Couple more. And stop with the hands at your belly. Open up your hands to be the width of your body. And now take those hands as though they were around a ball of energy. A ball of joy that you've just accumulated these last few minutes. It's concentrated. It's full of yourself. But there's enough abundance. You've overflowed. Full of joy, joyful. Enough within yourself so that in this ball, you can give of yourself. Hold that ball and slowly put those arms up and release that ball. Imagining happiness with whoever experiences that ball. And let that ball burst and disperse all over. And slowly bring your hands down. To your heart. So let's have a seat for a meditation. Guided meditation first, and then you'll hear the symbols to wake up, and then there'll be a video. I like to meditate with my feet firmly on the ground. Experienced meditators, you all have your own style. I like to have my hands up, and when I'm not speaking, I like to have the tip of my tongue at the roof of my mouth when I'm breathing in and out. Whatever works for you. So breathe in, light. And as you're breathing in that light and breathing out, allow it to disperse all throughout your lungs. And from your lungs to your circulatory system, pushed out arteries, in veins, through to your nervous system, all up and down your spine, filling you with light and love, And now imagine that light as you breathe in, going up around the top of your head, surrounding your entire body, down your back, down to your feet, up your legs, up your body, surrounded in light as in a baby's womb, fully protected. Now with one hand, just designate that as your receiving hand. The other hand as your giving hand. And imagine yourself in a circle with family, friends, ancestors, all who love you, all who have given to you. With your receiving hand, feel yourself receiving love and health and joy from that circle of souls. Allow that to pass through you to your giving hand, giving love, joy, light, and allow that to accumulate. Imagining that circle accumulating in light, passing through you, your light, your spheres of light glowing. And just sit there for a few minutes in silence, in double spheres of light and love. So let's gather for our closing circle. And rather than holding hands, we're going to just put out our fists to each other. So I encourage you to stand up, and we're going to just be a couple of inches away from each other, energetically. It's cold season, so it's a good way to take care of ourselves. And come on in, come on in. As comfortable as you are. If this isn't enough room, we can make a little more room. Okay, good. Oh, so here we are. Mother, Father, God, Spirit, all who love us, thank you. Thank you for this hour, this month, and this gift of life. Let us remember about joyfully giving. Let's remember that. And as we walk out of here today, let us give and spread joy to as many people as we encounter. Thank you.